So we are going to run everything together. Okay, it started. It added the appointment. Perfect. And deleted an appointment. And it should have added Jim James and deleted the appointment of William Martinez. Yes, the appointment of William Martinez doesn't exist in an appointment, and Jim James has been added. Hi, and welcome back. Your time is precious, so let's begin. First thing is to create a synthetic dataset for this tutorial, which I have created a barbershop appointments, for our barbershop we have 4 different barbers. The appointments are every 30 minutes. I just asked ChatGPT to generate me this synthetic dataset. So now that we have our barbershop appointments spreadsheet, the first thing that we want to do after adding the trigger is to be, of course, able to read from that Google spreadsheet. To do that, we are going to add the Google Sheets node, get rows in sheet. In case you haven't created your Google Sheets account authentication, what you're going to do is create new credential. You have to go to Google Cloud Console, create a new project. I have already created mine. Then you're going to go to API and Services, Authentication Consent screen. Give it a second. To Clients. And now what you want to do is create a new client. So choose Web Application. The name would be n8n YouTube. And you have also to add the authorized redirect URIs, which you are going to take from here. But because I'm hosting locally, it doesn't make any difference. This is not a public IP, but I'm going to add it anyway for the tutorial. If you are hosting on cloud, it's going to be a public IP address. I'm going to press create. Very nice. Now I'm going to copy the client ID over here and the client secret over here. Very nice. Now, one last step. If you are hosting locally, you have to add yourself as a test user for it to work. I have already done this. As you can see, this is my email. And now we can sign in with Google. I will choose my email, continue. Yes, continue. Account connected. No, never. Okay, very nice. Resource sheet within document, operation get rows, document from list. Very nice. It shows all my Google Sheets right here. If you don't see what you would not see your Google Sheets, you have to do one last step, and it is you're going to type Google Sheets and you are going to activate the API, and you will be able to see all your spreadsheets right over here. Okay, so I'm going to select n8n barbershop appointments. I'm going to select sheet 1 right over here, and I'm going to test to see if I'm going to get the data. Yes, perfect. Okay, so now we are able to read from our spreadsheets. So, of course, our next step should be to be able to add data to that spreadsheet. That data can come from anywhere. For example, an AI agent can have a conversation through Messenger or Instagram with our client and then send us the new appointment. But for simplicity, I have just created another barbershop new appointments spreadsheet, and we're going to take the data from there. So I'm going to type Google Sheets. Again, get rows in Sheets. I'm going to choose new appointments from sheet 1. I'm going to test. Perfect. I'm going to connect it to the trigger and I'm going to rename it. Barber shop new appointments and rename. Okay, perfect. Now our next step should be, of course, to append that data to our spreadsheet. So again, we're going to go Google Sheets, append to our sheet, Google Sheets account. I'm going to choose our barbershop appointments, sheet 1, and I'm going to map automatically the columns. Test. Perfect. The operation was a success, and if we go to barbershop appointments, you can see our two new rows right here. Now, of course, if we run our node again, give it a second. Yes. Even though the appointments already exist, it will add them a second time. And we want that. We don't want that. So what we can do is first we are going to filter if the appointment already exists. And if it doesn't, only then we are going to add them. So to do that, I'm going to flow, merge, SQL query, perfect. Going to go back. I'm going to take the data from our current appointments and the appointments that we want to add. And to be able to check if the new appointments exist or not in our current appointments, we are going to simply merge the two tables together using SQL. And we are going to use inner join because it only will bring us back data only if the both appointments exist in the both tables, so only the common ones, basically. Okay, so what we want here is to join on rows that are unique. And what is unique is always the appointment time and barber name. So one barber can have only one client at a specific time. Of course, you can also use full client name, but we are going to use only those two columns for simplicity. So we are going to join on barber name, barber name. Our input 1 is the barbershop appointments and our input 2 is the new appointments. Okay, perfect. And I also want to join on appointment time. Appointment time. Okay, so let's test it. First, let's see. Okay, our appointments exist. Execute this now your dataset mock data. Give it a second. I'm going to run it again. A problem. It lags sometimes. I'm going to trigger the workflow from the start. Okay, now it should have some data. Okay. So basically it has found duplicates. Okay, so this basically means that those two appointments exist 2 times each in our appointments. Okay. So if we delete them completely and run again, I also have to save. Yes, of course, I have to run again the purpose of appointments to get the data. Okay, give me a second, I want to use, okay, test. Yes, I have got the updated data. And when our appointment doesn't exist in our barbershop appointment, this operation will just return a success true, meaning that it hasn't found any matching columns between the two tables. So if that's the case, which means those new appointments don't exist in barbershop appointments, only then we want to add the new appointments to our spreadsheet. And to do that, we simply need an if operation, flow branch merge, okay, if, okay, so I'm going to pull success here, and I'm going to choose Boolean operation. If is true, okay, test is true. Okay, so if it's true, that means there is no common data between them. And if it is false, okay, so if it's true, it means, like we said, there is no common data between them. That means that we are going to append that data to our new appointments. Okay, so it will run. Let me double check. Success equals true means you have not found those appointments in our current appointments, and it will run we will get the data again and append it. Okay, so I'm going to test it. Okay, perfect. Let's see. Yes, we can see the appointments right here, but if I run the workflow again, this time it found those two appointments in our appointments, so it returns false, and we don't append the data. Of course, a client can cancel an appointment, so I have created a cancelled appointments. And to delete the appointments, we're going again to go to Google Sheets and delete rows or columns from Sheets. Go back. Okay. But first I have to read from the cancelled appointments. Google Sheets. Get row. Control. Give the second load. Cancelled appointments. Perfect. Sheet 1. Let's test. Okay. I'm going to connect it again. Seems to be working. Give it a second. Yes, perfect. It has read the cancelled appointments. Now, again, what we have to do is to delete the appointment. Google Sheets, delete the rows or columns from sheet. Account, sheet within document, listen. Delete columns, document. Going to delete, of course, from appointments. Okay, so now the problem with the delete operation is that it only deletes based on rows. And this is a problem with the Google Sheets API itself, so n8n can't do anything about it. So how the delete operation works is basically you say from which row you want to start deleting and how many rows you want to delete. So for example, if we want to delete the 11th row, this one, what we are going to do, we are going to add 11 here and 1 over here. The input data doesn't matter right now. And if I press test, and we go back, yes, it has deleted the 11th row and pushed all the rows below one row to the top. But we don't want that. We want to delete this appointment at 11, which is the 6th row, and the only way to do that is to find at which row it's that appointment first. So, to do that, first let me rename cancel, no, cancel, choose, what a hard day, cancel, yes, with 2 L's, barbershop should appointment. Okay. And now to find at which row is that appointment, we are going to use again the merge node. We're going to connect our appointments, our cancelled appointments, and this time let me check node data. Okay, so I'm going to run again. Okay, this time it got the data, node data cancelled. Ah, okay. Sorry, excuse me. Okay, now it should have both data from both tables. Okay, perfect. Now, to find at which row is a cancelled appointment, we are going again to join both tables at barber name, appointment time, and we are going to also use the client full name. So, okay. So all three rows basically, client full name, perfect. Let me copy again, right here, perfect. Let's test. Okay. So it found Michael Smith, William Martinez, that his appointment is on the second row. That's not correct. Ah, yes. We want the row from the first input, which are our appointments. Okay, so we want the row number from our appointments, which is input 1, and just row number. This time it should work. Yes, it's the 6th row. It's correct. Perfect. Now that we have found which row it is, we can delete the appointment. Let me rename again. Delete appointment. Rename. Connect. Why does it complain? Okay. So it's row number 6. And we're going to add the row number to start row number. So it reads it, so it can read it dynamically. It's basically a $sign JSON row number. Perfect. So we should be ready theoretically to delete that appointment. And I'm going to check for one last time. Yes, it's William Martinez. And I'm going to run the workflow from the beginning. Okay, let's check. William Martinez doesn't exist. Perfect. It deleted the appointment. So one last step again. For example, if our appointment that we want to delete doesn't exist, our merge node will return true instead of the row of the appointment that we want to delete, meaning that the appointment doesn't exist. So we're going to use again the if node here. And if set the condition success is true, okay. And if success is equals to, which means the appointment doesn't exist, it will return true. Okay, so if the appointment doesn't exist, we can't delete it. So we want to delete it only if it does exist, meaning that the operation will return false. So we're going to connect it right here. And if I run the workflow from the beginning, okay, it returned true because the appointment doesn't exist of William Martinez. But if I add it back to the appointments, save and run the workflow again, this time it found the appointment and deleted it. Okay, so thanks for watching. Feel free to leave any question in the comments and see you in the next one.